Swedish. Is 44 years. Certainly could have been top model, but he did referee hundreds of international games. First of all, fieldfootball.com did choose you as being one of their champions. How do you feel about it, and about the fact that a ref is chosen as being a champion?
I was very delighted actually, because I have not been working with media and televisions at all since I stopped 2 years ago. I have actually said I have left the public scene of football, didn't do any interviews, didn't do nothing. But when this proposal and this question actually was brought forward to me, I was very happy and delighted. And after a very short time of thinking, I said that this is a very good idea. This is something that I would like to be involved in.
We'll have many topics, but first of all, the importance of the referee in modern football. I think it's really important to respect the ref, and your presence is a part of it. How do you feel with it?
I think it's proud for me to have that chance actually to bring forward the message from refereeing sides and the point of view of refereeing. Because as you said, from the last 2-3 years, we can always see it's increasing, the discussions, the thinking about refereeing, and also actually to say it's important to show the people also that the development of refereeing has also moved forward the last 2-3 years.
We're in Italy. It's not very good memories for you.
No.
There are bad times for you in Italy. What do you think of protection of the actors of football?
I think it's very important that for the football authorities not to be naive, to be prepared. If you don't prepare to fail, one said. And I think it's very important. You have to be, if you are a part of the football authorities, you have to always think about the security measures in the stadiums. And I must say also that there have been a lot of good works done the past years from the football authorities in this matter. A lot of new committees have been set up. A lot of people are traveling around to watch stadiums before they actually say that this stadium is okay. So in that terms, it's okay. But also, of course, you have sometimes to think of what can happen in this match. What is the atmosphere before this match? Has there been a special atmosphere in the press before this match? To have to take a lot of different things into consideration before a football match. Because when I was in Rome, we had no thinking at all of a scenario with the match being abandoned. And thinking ahead, I think maybe also myself and we in the referee team, if we had known the big discussions that have been between the Roma and the Turkish supporters before this match, maybe I had been a little bit more prepared than I was in this match.
But do you think that referees are enough involved in the reflections about security and protections?
I think we are, because always for an international match, for a Champions League match, every match day at 10 o'clock in the morning, all the referees team gathering in the security meeting at the stadium, together with the people from the away team and with the home team, personnel from the stadium, police, fire brigade, Red Cross, a lot of people involved in these meetings.
But should fans be associated to this meeting?
No, I don't think so. Not the fans, because not in these meetings, because it's unnecessary. But we also, in these meetings, we have police from the away team's city. So I think a lot of things are being done with safety measures within the stadiums. And I think if we look back 25 years time, we can see that every year we take another step of doing better preparation for the safety. Although we have not come all the way.
If we take one example, objects are still thrown on the pitch.
Yeah.
That's just one example. Why? Mostly there are fines, but no suspension of the pitches.
This is exactly what I think. The fines for the clubs is nothing. The only suspension that feels for the clubs is to play in another stadium or in a closed stadium. And it's also to send out the message, a null tolerance message for spectators and fans. That we don't accept people throwing things, because the match can be abandoned, and also we can have matches played in another stadium or in a closed stadium. And I think that is a good message to send out. The fines, I think it's meaningless in that sense.
You said no tolerance, but does it mean that for you, things that happens on the pitch, in the stadium, should be treated as if things happened outside the stadium? I mean, should it be considered as something that police and justice should condemn also?
Yeah, I think so, of course.
And
the
not
same,
be
the
only
same
a
offense.
question of sport.
I think no, it's the same. I mean, we don't tolerate people. If I walk the street out there and someone throws a bottle at me, I don't accept that. I go to the police, and I think.
And
but again, I think it's so important to think about attitude. Again, changing the way of attitude, because a bad behavior also will mean in the future that the stadium and the fans will suffer penalties, punishments, and fines, or the worst scenario, a banned stadium.
When the incident of Rome happened, did you imagine to go in justice against the fan?
No, I didn't do that, because the man or woman who did this was never identified. If that had been the meaning, of course I had done that.
Do you regret not to have?
No, I don't think. Actually, I'm not the kind of character that goes thinking every day about bad things. I think about good things, and that was one bad experience for me. It was a very disappointing experience. A match abandoned, a Champions League match abandoned. A thing like that happened to, not to me, to referees.
And awful pictures, broadcast war, with you blooding and.
Yeah.
Have you seen these pictures?
Yeah, oh, so many times, many times, and sometimes it's difficult to actually identify that it is yourself that are on the screen at this moment. But,
do you have any personal point of view about why those problems are still not solved?
I think it's, again, to have a discussion about banning stadiums, of course. But of course, before to take that kind of punishment into consideration, to think all the time of bringing the attitude forward. Discussing it in media, discussing it in television, discussing it in every matters, that it is so important that we will have a good experiences for the players, for the referees and for the fans, for the good of the game, for the good of football. And I think to just bringing that message into people's head, it's sometimes easier than to just go out and say, if you do that, we will punish you with a banned stadium. You have to take all the bodies concerned in the society to think about things like that. And I think actually the Rome incident, after that, created a lot of work around Europe with clubs, with supporters. And I think there was a lot of good things also that came out of that bad experience.
Do you think there's a great debate nowadays about it? Do you think that the stadiums are safe enough?
I don't think that in the way that we are talking about throwing objects. It's not safe. But we can also see that we don't see so much crowd innovations today. We don't see that. Earlier days we saw that. So we must get credit for that the work has been good so far in that matter. But also we have the matter to think about throwing objects to players, coaches. We saw one coach having a bottle in his head a couple of weeks ago.